All right.
Record.
Don't forget to clap. Yeah, you want clapping now? Wait, we clap now?
Stop clapping. Okay. 3, 2, 1, record. Yay!
Oh, wait,
right.
record.
See, now everybody clap on 3. 1, 2, 3, clap. There we go.
You can't note that was just not even. I'm not even.
Uh,
Okay, so
Lyria's just gonna have to align it all later.
yeah, I know. Generally, these guys are pretty good about hitting record, and
Clapping's supposed to help.
it's supposed to help when used in a helpful manner.
what's the helpful manner? How else do you clap?
Well, you have to be in sync for it to be useful. But yeah.
Stop talking about clapping.
Clapping is how you get in sync. I don't. Okay, fine. Sorry, fine.
We need like a drummer to like bang some drumsticks together before we go.
That will be your little one in a few years. We can get him to.
I have some drumsticks. Should I go get them?
No. No, that's good. We're good. I probably should have said this before we start the live broadcast. But Elly and Aure, what do you guys want to talk about today?
I thought you had a plan.
Well, Liore and I
heard
have
we
a
were
secret
talking
plan.
Yeah.
It is not a secret.
No,
It's like the
I don't
world's
know.
worst kept
Dude,
secret.
y'all, I drank 11 liters of beer yesterday. I got
let's-
nothing.
So one of the things that I want to talk about, because I'm the special guest, is I want to talk about what it felt like to drink $1,000 worth of beer.
I would
Yeah.
love to talk about
There's
drinking.
no way we're
$1,000
not
worth of
talking
beer.
about that.
Yeah, no, I figured we're definitely talking about that. Yes.
I want to
There's-
talk about Sid's pants.
Wait, what? Who?
Sid from Final Fantasy 15?
Oh, you want to talk about Cindy?
No, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, fine. We can talk about that because that's infuriating. So I'm.
I don't actually have a lot to say other than that I wanted to bring it up.
It's infuriating.
Well, you'll have to bring me up to speed because I don't know who Sydney or Cindy are and what their
Have you
pants are
played
about.
Final Fantasy 7?
No, it's every Final Fantasy.
Have you
It's
played
all
any other
Final
Final
Fantasies.
Fantasies?
Sid is in
I
every Final
played-
Fantasy. He's traditional.
I played about 45 minutes of a Final Fantasy game once, and I don't remember which one it was, but it seemed mostly like watching a movie and occasionally pressing next, so I stopped playing it.
Oh,
That was probably one of the later ones.
it was probably like any of them.
I think it was in like 2004.
I am going to put a link in the chat now that we know the chat exists, and that will nicely summarize what we're talking
Oh
about.
wow, it like popped up.
Yeah, it did pop up.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
No, that's not even
Wow.
the best picture. What are you doing?
What? Come on, that's a nice summary, though, of what's going on here.
I'm confused because that's a very big change.
That is a very big change. Yes.
You gotta find the one of the like. I'll find it.
I'm glad we're streaming this on YouTube. This is.
Well, at least we're not like doing this mid-episode.
Sid's a lady in 15?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's Sid's daughter. She just
Okay.
has like hot pants on.
She wears a bikini top and hot pants.
I'm trying to find the hot pants.
Is she on a beach?
She is
No.
a mechanic, and she works at the oh god, what was it called? I just read a thing.
Well, every good mechanic wears hot pants.
That's true. That's an important part of the mechanic process.
It's true. It's kind of like a poker player not wearing sunglasses. You know, that's how you know they're badass.
That's true. It's even better if they like, I don't know, nothing.
I can't find the original Kotaku story that I read.
Yeah, I saw a Polygon story too, but
Oh, maybe it was a Polygon story. Maybe that's why I can't find it.
there's a Polygon story.
This is some quality podcasting.
We haven't
Watch
officially
us-
started yet, but thank you, people who are watching us on YouTube. This is
That's the best part about these.
Watch
Sorry.
as we Google things to talk about.
exciting
people get to watch all
pre-show
sorts-
action.
Yeah. They get to see how awesome we are at podcasting.
Wow, the
know.
old man who creates airships is the best one.
Yes. I did an interview for Podcasting News, a website, and they were like, "You read 2 different podcasts about games. How are they different?" And I'm like, "Well, one is extremely organized."
And the other one is not.
It's Game On. The other one's Game On.
Yeah, no, that's not exactly what I said, but okay. Do we want to do a show?
I suppose.
No. Let's just, we're done now. This will be quick to edit.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Okay, we are recording. I'm recording. Everybody is good. Oh, yeah, 5 minutes of pre-show babble. That's good.
That's all?
That's all. That's it.
There you go. That's a better comparison.
Oh, yeah. That's Final Fantasy XIV Sid there on the left.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't met him yet. Probably because I'm level 7.
Well, that would do it. All right, let's do a show.
Music.
Not helping!
See, what's really not helping is that they do a version of that in Madagascar, which is the Tiny Dino's favorite movie, except the words are Afro Circus.
Oh, I've heard that song.
Children.
I think I heard that in a mashup recently, actually.
Of course you did.
All right, I'm doing an intro.
So she said 10 minutes ago.
What? Oh my god, you guys!
Is our podcasting time over yet? Our window is almost over.
That's it. You're all replaced with, I don't know.
Robot?
something. Robots! Yes.
Robots would not be nearly as funny.
No, it's true. They wouldn't. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of Cat Context Podcast for Wednesday, March 25th, 2015. Oh, God, that was really hard. My name is Liore. With me today, as usual, are my 2 co-hosts, Arolaide and Ellyndrial, and we also have a special guest today. It is friend to the show, Aurelia. Hey, Aurelia, since you're, the special guest today, let me throw it over to you first. How's it going? How's your weekend going?
Pretty great. I am excited to hear about Arrow's super exclusive beer party,
Don't you bite on my talk.
which is so mysterious.
I can't believe we weren't invited.
It's so
You
mysterious
were totally
that
invited.
I can't even begin to tell you what it might be about.
It's a nice recovery.
Nice recovery. And things are good. I live in Boston, and we had a historic snowfall this year, but it's starting to melt. And today we discovered that there was apparently a lost shovel in our yard for about the last 2 months. That just today we see like the tip of the handle sticking up of the snow pile. So we're making progress.
You're digging your way out.
It snowed so much that you lost the shovel.
Yeah.
That's
This is the snow
they
pile
lost
that like
shovel.
2 months ago, I could stand on and then step directly onto my roof. So the fact that it's now down to about 6 feet is huge progress.
I can't even conceive of that much snow, and I'm from Ohio.
It was good. It was interesting. So anyways, that's my weekend.
Excellent. Melting snow. Well, that sounds like progress. I'm going to leave Arrow to last because she has some mysterious thing to talk about. Ellie, how's your weekend been?
It's pretty good. Yeah. I got to play Magic today. How about that? Can I talk about Magic some more?
No.
I'm just going to
No, we
watch
don't talk about
everybody's
Magic.
eyes glaze over as I talk about Magic. They're all dragons. This is the dragon set, and there are like
God damn
100
it.
dragons. I know, and they're so cool.
Did they get Ed Beard to do the dragons at least? No. None of the good artists work there anymore.
Some of them do, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Magic Corner.
Yeah, it was a pre-release. I went to a pre-release today. They had them all weekend. The new set comes out in a couple weeks. It's fun.
Do you play people at a pre-release?
You do. It's like a big tournament at the local game store, and it's a good reason to go to your local game store and support your local game store rather than buying your cards on Amazon or whatever. Is that they can run stuff like this. So everybody goes and shows up, and you play sealed, and they give you like a special pack with like whichever of the dragon lords you want to be a part of their clan, and then you make a deck and play everybody for like 4 or 5 hours. It's pretty fun.
Nice. Did you win?
I did not win. I was above 500 and therefore won some prize packs. That's most of what matters.
That sounds like you got what you went there for.
Yep, I didn't. I was not out of it like well before the time was up. So, hooray!
Nice. Have you played any video games that we get to talk about today?
Sure.
Oh,
I played a
sweet.
bunch of Destiny, um, because Destiny is super easy to play in relatively short bursts. I helped Talon set up a new laptop so she can play Dragon Age and Warcraft. Yeah,
Ooh.
I know.
Nice.
And I played a little Final Fantasy.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we'll have to talk about some Final Fantasy. I actually watched someone play Destiny over the weekend, and that game has excellent font choice. It really does.
It
It's a
does.
gorgeous game. It is a gorgeous game.
The UI is really spectacular in that game.
It is.
Except that they made it like you want to interact with it as if it has a mouse, but you only have the thumbstick,
Yeah, that's the problem.
which is really weird. And
I
there's
would
like,
totally play that game on PC.
yeah, me too.
I wonder how many game reviews give them credit for their skillful typography.
I've
If
seen a few
I ran
places
one,
mention it.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Arrow.
Ha 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 ha! I like how people think I have a blog.
You do. We know you do. We've seen you post there. The story is out. Speaking of things that might show up on your blog, Arrow, what did you do this weekend?
This weekend, I had a party where I drank $1,000 in beer.
Yay!
By
And
yourself?
what's that? No, there were 5 of us, but there were 11 liters of beer. It was special beer that Stone Brewing started in 2002. They called it the Vertical Epic, where the idea was they released one beer every year, and you were supposed to taste them all in a row, and then the tastes mingle on your palate, and it creates an entire giant epic thing rather than just drinking one beer. And they didn't make enough of the 2002 because they didn't expect it to be as big a deal as it was. So if you didn't buy the beers when they came out, you were screwed unless you were rich. And especially since eBay does not let you sell alcohol.
Not officially.
Yeah, they started cracking down on it lately. But yeah, I had to buy my 2 aftermarket and spent way too much for it. The others I actually got in order, but they've been sitting in my cellar for since 2012, waiting for the right opportunity to get my friends together and drink all of this amazing beer. And we took so many pictures, and you don't think it's a lot of beer because you have them in little bitty tasting cups because you want to be able to drink all 11. But even 2-ounce tasting cups, you go through and you drink 11 of them, and that's 2 beers really fast.
And they're like high alcohol too, right? Or at least some of
Super
them
high
are.
alcohol, man. Like the 666 was a Belgian quad style, so it was like
Oh.
Those are my
12
favorites.
ABV. Yeah, and and by the end of the night, my notes got more and more illegible, as they would. Like my note for, I think it was the 2007 version says, like a Hefeweizen fucking an IPA. And I'm still trying to figure out what that meant, because it's evocative, but not quite precisely what I think I mean.
That sounds like something Dogfish Head would put on their label.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, they
going to
would.
say if that hasn't been put on a beer label, it will be soon.
You should go trademark that right now, and then we should brew it.
But it was a really interesting experience in, the chemical mixtures of food, and how it was very different tasting, one beer and then another beer, and then tasting the same beer and a palate cleanser, and then that second beer.
Did MasterChef cook anything really exciting?
Actually, no. We just had we had plain popcorn and other salty, carby things because we didn't want to mix food with that particular beer. That was all about the beer.
And
Anyway.
was it delicious?
Oh, it was so spectacular. Oh my god.
Which was
I
your
really-
favorite?
My favorite. Oh, that's hard. I really liked the 2010, which had muscat grapes in with some super high yeast and heavy yeast and piney hops. It was really good. Nobody liked that one but me. I still have some of that left.
Wasn't the 10 was all like, not like the 10, they had the winter thing going for it.
That's 11 and 12 really, and then
But 11, I think 11 was like ultra piney or ultra hoppy or something. I can't remember. It's been a
11
while.
had Anaheim chilies in it. And then you have the Anaheim Chili Super Pepper beer, followed by the 2012, which was basically it's singing Jingle Bells in the bottle. That's all allspice and cloves and nutmeg and ginger, and
I thought one of those was like a Belgian. Maybe I'm
there are
wrong.
lots of Belgians in there.
I know, but towards the
There
end.
are 11 beers, 11 liters of beer. Oh my God!
Mostly sad they didn't start it. They didn't think to start it on 111.
Yeah, no, I guess they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. But I think having another bottle would have killed all of us. we would have been utterly slain.
So clearly they planned it out just right.
They did, just for me. It's very exciting.
I really appreciated the photo you put on Twitter with all like the neatly lined up cups that really.
Oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
that was spectacularly artistic. I'm excited to use that as the header of a blog post that will never actually be published.
We're all
Fantastic.
waiting now.
Yeah, it's true. And it's too much pressure. I'll never get it done because it'll have to be perfect. And so anyway, we got really drunk without meaning to. We just, oh my God, it was so much beer. Because you can't not drink that beer after it's been all boxed together for 13 years.
Oh yeah, no, you had to drink it. No, I think if there was ever a time, that was the time.
So we got really drunk, and then we played Munchkin and Transformers, and then the children woke us up at 6:30, and we wanted to die. But it was so worth it. So very, very worth it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about a bunch of, stuff today. It's been another well-planned episode of Cat Context, but I'm going to start with Aurelia because I know what we can talk about, and that is
Sure.
City Skylines because it's really good. So, Aurelia, what do you
Is
think?
that like when you go on a driving trip and like take pictures and the tour guide's like, that building's taller than that building?
No.
No.
No, that would be City Skylines is the new city builder by Paradox. It is generally, I
It's by
think,
Colossal Order, published by Paradox.
right. And generally, it seems to be a crazy success. I think it's currently the fastest-selling game that Paradox has brought out, and it's
Yeah, it's sitting
city
with a
builders were
96% approval rating on Steam, 96% positive reviews on Steam, which is amazing.
It's
yes.
a lot more than SimCity.
Have
Right.
only like 3 people reviewed it? How does that even happen?
It's like the last time I checked it, it was about 6,000 reviews, and 96% of them were positive. It's actually a fantastic game. I think it's getting an easier time in the reviews than it would have otherwise. But because SimCity was such a huge and disgusting flop and disappointing to so many people who've been waiting for so long, the fact that City Skylines is good makes it seem, in comparison, like the most amazing game that has ever existed, because it's what everybody wanted SimCity to be. So.
Yeah, and particularly with the news of Maxis, the SimCity headquarters of Maxis being shut down a few weeks ago, I think a lot of people were feeling kind of low for the future of city builders, and then this gem comes along, and it's like, yeah, this is what we wanted. This is, I mean, for me, I was booting up my copy of SimCity 4, which was like 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
so it's nice to have a new
desperation
game.
right
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well coded. Like it's stable. I think a few people had a few small tech issues, like with particular graphics card combos. But from what I've seen, it was stable on launch day. It was really playable. The bugs were pretty minimal, and they already released a patch like 3 days ago that fixed the commercial demand issue and a couple of other small things. So it's just been really nice to have a really strong, solid city builder right out of the box that you don't have to, deal with headaches. And the cool thing is that Paradox is really, really, really good about long-term support for their games and continually releasing new content. I mean, I've been playing Crusader Kings 2 for something like 4 years, and they're still releasing new stuff for it every now and then. Like, they just released an expansion, I think about 4 or 5 months ago, the Way of Life expansion. So I'm Lior, I talked to you a bit about this, between the Paradox support and the fact that the modding is so amazing, and maybe you want to talk about that. I think it's going to be an even better game in like 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Yeah, the modding is great. The game is fully hooked up with Steam Workshop, and the modding community has just embraced this game, and literally every day you can go and look at the Steam Workshop, and there's some new amazing thing, whether it's a new map, it's new color palette, it's new buildings, it's new actual features. They're literally building new features into the game. So the game itself, it's only 2 weeks old at this point and it's still getting better every single day. I was reading in the City Skylines subreddit, don't hate me.
I look at it too, I confess.
that some of the old Maxis employees have been making mods for City Skylines because I guess they have some spare time on their hands now, and people are really getting into it. It's just amazing what the community has done in just a few weeks.
Well, the fantastic thing too is the level of niche geekery that has marshaled its power for this game is truly fantastic. Nowhere else can a civil engineer nerd. Sorry, that's my phone.
Wow.
Sorry, it makes a call. It reminds me of home, and now everybody on the internet knows. Anyways, the pop-up warned me not to say anything that I didn't want to be on the internet when I joined this one. What was I saying? Interchanges, right? So, imagine you have some sort of cousin who's super into civil engineering and wants to talk to you about which infrastructure or which interchange design for highways is the most efficient, and you spend every Thanksgiving avoiding talking to this person because you can't have that conversation another time. That person can create that interchange in the modding community and post it to the Steam Workshop, and he or she will have thousands of adoring nerd fans who, like me, are not good at building their own interchanges, and we can download their efficient, well-built highway ramps, and this person can find a sort of niche fan base and be appreciated, finally.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever hear this, but Timbo, whoever you are, thank you for all your interchanges, because I love them. And it means that I don't have to try and do my rambling. I have some overpasses that are they're just spaghetti rambling around the sides of the road, and they go up and down. And yeah, so it's nice to have these people. And not only that, but I've actually, I'm not super into civil engineering or anything, but I am learning stuff using these interchanges and reading about the history, and usually at least Timbo's stuff comes a little well, this is used in Europe right now, and this used to be popular and they're phasing this out, and who knew that roads could be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because you also start to realize that questions of city layout. I never play. There is a mod built in that allows you to have unlimited money, but I don't play with it. So when you start out, you might have an idea for how you really, really want your city to be this beautiful, well-designed affair. But realistically, when you start out, because you have limited money, you can only build a tiny corner of it, and you think that you're going to plan ahead. But really what ends up happening is you're like, oh shit, I need more commercial zoning, and you just plop an area right in the middle, and before you know it, everything is slightly chaotic and doesn't really make sense, and you have weird traffic in the middle of this residential area, and you start to realize why your commute is so terrible, because that's actually what happens in real life.
Do they have random city officials and developers trying to bribe you as the city manager to build an interchange in a particular place, or drop
Not yet.
Somebody should
drop
the stadium right here around all of this stuff that I own already, just coincidentally.
So you want to add a corruption expansion to the
clearly.
Game? Yeah.
I'd play that. I'd play a corruption expansion. That sounds cool. Yeah, there's a few things that it doesn't have yet that SimCity 4 does, for example, disasters. And underpasses, like bike underpasses and pedestrian underpasses and that sort of thing. But as you say, and Colossal Order as well, the developers with their previous Cities in Motion titles have a really good history of bringing out great DLC. So I think between that and Paradox's history of great support, this game is really good right now, and it's going to be so good a year from now. it's just, I can't see how this is not just going to keep getting better and better and better.
I also have to do a sort of shout out. I love the fact that Colossal Order is a tiny company. I think they have something between 10 and 15 employees. And their CEO is a woman. And almost half of their employees are women, which is incredible for a gaming company. And it's been so nice for me to see them getting such positive press and doing so well, because a lot of the games, or a lot of the female-led companies in tech have been receiving a lot of negative press and receiving a lot of questioning in the area, and it's really, really great for me to see that this company led by a woman is just making a game that everyone agrees is amazing and just getting like disproportionately successful for the size of their company. So yay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And plus I get to bore everyone in my house with talking about, like, did you see this pedestrian overpass? Look at it. It's so pretty. And Vajra's like, it's a street. I don't understand.
I also enjoy naming. You can like zone off particular neighborhoods and set particular policies. So you can have, like, if you decide you want something to be like your really ritzy residential area, you can set specific policies that will guide it in that direction, and vice versa. Like, if you want an area to be kind of a sort of Amsterdam sketchy kind of neighborhood, you can like allow recreational drug use in this one area, and you can name all the different neighborhoods. So I like naming them after different like people and things.
So who'd you name the red light district after?
So it was Vajra, but he told me to do it. He told me that I should name my sketchiest red light district Vajraville. That's what he said. Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I'll tell him that. He'll be pleased.
Mm.
Yeah, I come up with like silly storybook names for all my districts and whatnot. But it's true. You have like the best of intentions when you start out. And I started out with like a circular city, and I'm like, it's just going to keep going out. And then, things happen, and you're like, no, I need roads.
Things happen. Wait, hold on. By things happen, do you mean that you accidentally make all of the people in your city drink poo because you place the sewer lines in the wrong place? Because that's what you told me.
Wait, what?
That is a thing that may have happened. Okay. So it turns out that if you build a second urban hub downstream from your first one, they will start to take in the poo water from the one upstream, and then people start getting sick, oddly, and you're like, sick? Yeah. And then it took me a while to figure out. And then one of the features in the game is there's a little fake Twitter at the top that your citizens can tweet you. And
wow, I bet they were not pleased with that.
No, well, one of them popped up and said something about, brown water, and I'm like, no, wait, what are they talking about? The other problem I had is I guess there were too many traffic jams, and the hearses couldn't get from the cemeteries to the houses where there were dead people to pick up.
Oh my God!
My citizens are tweeting like, what do I do with this dead body? I don't understand. So I'm like, oh God, okay. I need a hearse express lane now. I was reading, if you build your population too quickly all at once, it means that their lifespan all ends at the same time, and then you just have this like glut of dead bodies to deal with.
That's urban planning right there.
Exactly. And not something I would have thought of. Yeah. No, the game's great. I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and my city lives on, and I just can't wait. I'm really excited just to see where it goes from here. I mean, there's so many good options in it right now, particularly the public transportation. The underground and the trains and everything, and you just know they're going to build more crazy stuff onto it, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into the monuments yet, the really epic buildings, because I haven't unlocked all of them. But that's something that I'm waiting. I eventually would like to build a really big city. The biggest city that I've built so far is only about 40,000 people. So.
Yeah, I would like to do that as well, and just sort of get all the high rises and whatnot. Yeah, definitely. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really pleased with it, and I think a lot of people. City builders, it didn't seem to be a genre that was going anywhere, so it's just such a delight to have this one come relatively out of the blue and do so well. Just nail what we all wanted out of our micromanaging city builder. I played Tropico 5 a little bit today because it was a free weekend on Steam, and that that was sort of the previous well-marketed city builder, but it's a very different game, obviously. But I don't know, Aurelia, did you have a chance to play Tropico 5? I didn't find it.
So
it that
I was
much.
I was a huge fan of Tropico 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Especially 4 was one of my favorite games for quite a while. But in 5, the way that they made the missions all build on top of the previous missions, in 5 I thought was kind of annoying because you didn't get a chance to start fresh with each map. And a lot of the missions are really ridiculous. Like one of the missions is something like build 6 military bases, and so you end up just plopping them down anywhere in really chaotic places. And then in the next iteration, the next step of the campaign, you have to continue on with this city that has stupid military bases all over the place. So, and yeah, I don't think it added that much from Tropico 4. It was basically a graphics update with a few little, admittedly very cute, humorous, gimmicks, but not exactly a revolutionary change. So honestly, if I feel like playing Tropico these days, I mostly just play Tropico 4.
Yeah, that was kind of the feeling I got. If anything, and admittedly, I only had about an hour to play around with it during the free weekend, but it feels like they obfuscated. Oh, I should have thought of that before I said it. They took away some of the easy way to get data and made it a little more pretty on the front, and I couldn't really get the data that I wanted to run my city. It's definitely not it's a more casual city kind of game, and more, I want to say, like PvE, although I don't really mean PvP. But
it's also different because it doesn't have that zoning, like the old school Sim Cities and City Skylines have that zoning mechanism where you just plot, you just label something, okay, this is residential area, and then residential buildings will just sort of appear based on the conditions in your city. Whereas with Tropico, nothing is going to show up unless you specifically build it. So it's a very different sort of feel, and it has much more of a sort of bizarre plot to it, like with that whole, the president, you're the president, and there's a worldwide conspiracy involving, asparagus that you have to stop, and
it's
Ellie,
a story.
Ellie and Aure have probably never played these games and probably think that both you and I are completely psychotic at this point. But
I played a lot of Sim City when I was 13, and I've never really gotten back into the genre since.
Yeah.
Do you like any strategy games, Ellie?
I don't know. Not really. Yeah.
I mean, I guess Magic kind of counts.
Yeah, I mean, I like making strategic choices. I think part of the problem with a lot of these games is exactly what Liore just alluded to, and it's certainly something that I ran into with Crusader Kings, and that's that there are an infinite number of buttons and so much data to parse through, and it feels so worky to me. Part of that's because I work with data consistently, so looking for trends in data is something that I kind of do in my professional life, and is not really something that I want to do in my gaming life. But then I'll go and do all sorts of optimizations for an MMO. So I don't know. That's maybe just not quite the same. But it's been a while.
To be fair, I love city builders. I too found Crusader Kings to be a little overwhelming. You just buttons and buttons and buttons of detail, menus and information. I'm I don't know.
But it was that one and Democracy was like that too, right? Aurelia made these nice video series on Democracy, and I was I love the concept of what you're doing here, and it seems super fun, but holy shit.
We're diametrically opposed, because not only is Crusader Kings literally one of my favorite games of all time, you don't even want to look at how many hours I have on Steam played in Crusader Kings 2. In fact, I started like playing it in invisible mode so that I didn't have to like be embarrassed about how many hours it was. It is. I
All I know is
love
like there was like a whole year when every time I looked at Steam, you were playing Crusader Kings at like
pretty
every
much.
hour of the day.
There's this sort of sweet spot of like intensely satisfying micromanaging of interesting, amusing data that really appeals to me. And yeah, Democracy 3 I thought it was such a good game that I made a video review of it for Liore. So it's definitely my sort of thing, but I definitely also understand why it is not for everybody.
Yeah, I like the like final bits of tweaking. I just like I don't know. I've gotten to this point with games where like I really struggle to try and learn. Like I want to learn everything if I'm gonna play it. Like I might as well play it right, you know. And I don't have that much room in my brain, or don't want to devote that much room in my brain to like every new game that comes along. So I'm kind of happy to like play the dumbed down games right now.
It's interesting to me though because so what part of what you described, like not wanting to learn an entire another universe of, you know, rules and information, that's one of the reasons I've never gotten into a trading card game. And I know that you're huge into Magic, and to me,
Yeah,
it seems. I mean, I know you've been playing it for a really
yeah,
long time, so maybe you don't even think about it anymore. But remember, Lior, when you were trying to learn Hearthstone, and there was sort of an entire philosophy. Not only did you have to learn your cards, but you had to learn all the good cards of your opponents and all of these deck building strategies, and the like meta deck building strategies
yeah.
kept shifting. And I'm just not. No, it's not. That to me is not fun. That to me feels like work. Whereas,
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of currently spent most of my mental gaming energy on Magic, even though I don't play that much or that competitively. I definitely follow it pretty closely, and that's absolutely true. I mean, that was when I was deep into Warcraft. I read, and we all did, right? We read all the time about Warcraft. We always sort of thought, like, I'd have little pads where I was like, making builds like early on before like everybody had just a published build. And certainly going back to Star Wars, I was like, you know, wrote applications so that I could like build a talent tree on my own time when I wasn't playing the game, kind of thing, and like optimize every point. And right now it's more, yeah, I mean, I basically have one game I can get deep into at a time, I guess. Maybe that's it. And maybe
mhm.
Magic is sort of taking up that space in my head. Although it's kind of fallen away. I'm like way more casual at it than I was like 6 months ago. So
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It's why, like, I don't get into, say, League of Legends, because there's so many different champions, and you have to learn not only how to play yours, but what the opponent's going to do, like you said, really, with Hearthstone, that I'm just like, no,
yeah.
I just don't have the brain for that.
And I think the genres matter too, right? Like if you've been playing city builders, you kind of have
That's true.
the background knowledge and the language and stuff. So you like, I mean, when we go play another MMO that's not WoW but is WoW like Final Fantasy is very WoW-like. Um, it's a lot easier to translate, and you don't have to start from scratch.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's been 15 years since I played a city builder much. I have to learn the language again, and like that's daunting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
can
been
totally,
playing that
that's a
pretty
good
much
point.
nonstop.
Yeah, because when Lior was playing Hearthstone, I like watched some of the early stuff, and when I started playing Hearthstone, it was like I totally, I have to learn a little bit of the specifics, but like at least knew the concepts. I was like, oh, I know about aggro and tempo and card advantage and you know how to build a deck in an appropriate way and what a mana curve is and all that sort of stuff. And um,
Yeah, I don't even know what those words mean, but I'm sure that just everyone else that sounded really sensible.
that's definitely how I feel with the city building stuff too. Is like it seems awesome. Like I loved doing that stuff. I loved playing those games. Man, I'm not in a place right now where that is where I'm gonna
What is your
spend my
new
time.
infant getting in the way of your gaming life? I
No, what
don't
are you talking
understand.
about?
What? Arrow, do you play many city builders?
I I have a problem with city builders, and that's well, you're yeah, okay. I have a problem with city builders, and that's that like the very first thing you guys were talking about, where you've got this beautiful city in your head, and you want to see how it does, but you don't have enough money or space or time, and that's my problem. I get really frustrated, not when the AI doesn't behave in the way that I want it to. It's like the very first Sims game, I don't know if they still do, had a like reality TV mode where you could just wind them up and let them go, and it was like a little ant farm. The little ant farm thing is fun for me, but the managing resources and making people happy and no, shut up, live in the city. You're fake people, go to fake work, it's fine.
That's right. Learn to live with those dead people in your houses.
Yeah, I mean, it's like The Sims, right? Like, the most fun part was taking away the ladder out of the pool, or, like, taking away the door and letting my family starve to
Oh
death.
my god.
You're a terrible person.
I have not seriously played a sim game since the very first Sims, when my little man would not go to work. He wouldn't go to work. I don't know why, he just wouldn't do it. I wasn't a problem with the door because other people in the fake family would leave the house. He just wouldn't leave. I guess he was an agoraphobic.
It was very
thing,
sad.
whatever.
It was just very
He was
sad.
very sad. So I took the toilet away so that he could go to work and use the bathroom there because everyone else did. No. He wet himself, laid on the floor, and cried in shame. And I uninstalled it and haven't played a sim game since.
Yeah. I was like, I could get CPS to come and like try and take my kids away, and then I was like, you're not fucking taking my kids, and I took them away, and then everybody just starved to death inside. Like, this is better than CPS taking my kids. I'll just let everybody die.
If you can't have the kids, no one can.
That's
Wow.
right.
Liore, so this is weird, right? That's a weird thing to do. Are you with me?
Yeah, I don't think I was ever that mean to my Sims.
Didn't you have a pool party and you never had a pool party and like then made everybody die in the pool by taking away the ladder?
No, because
They fixed it. In the later ones, they can get out of the pool with no ladder. It's bullshit.
it ruined your fun. No, I felt bad. I would just make people have like inappropriate extramarital affairs.
Well, that's obvious.
You're so Canadian. Oh
I
my
know.
god.
And then apologize for it afterwards.
Exactly. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah. No, you know, I would make Sims like after people in my I know in my real life, and I don't want to see my friends die in a pool. That's sad. That's a sad story.
Yeah, remember I made the sim house with like you and Core and Ellie and who was the other person? Someone else. Ham was in the house. And I couldn't add Arrow because I didn't know what Arrow looked like, but I added the rest of you. And it was great because Core's like fake Core, Sim Core's favorite thing to do was annoy Sim Ellie. Like irritate is actually like on the action wheel. It's one of the available options.
That's
so
awesome.
I didn't even design it this way. Became his favorite thing to do, and they became enemies. You could be like rivals with another Sim. So that was pretty hilarious to watch.
Digital life reflecting real life.
Yeah.
Not that bad, but Core does live to irritate all of us. So. Hi, Core. Yeah, so long story short, City Skylines, you can make your City Skylines people drink poo water.
Or not. So helpful tip from Aurelia, if you place the water intake pipes upstream and the sewer outflow pipes downstream, that doesn't happen. And also,
yes.
if you find yourself being a fake person and trying to decide what city to live in, I'm going to recommend Aureliaville over Liore Town.
Yeah, go upstream. Yeah, and then once I actually looked and you could see like the brown streak of like poo water going down the river, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to drink that either. That's no good.
I'm glad that they modeled that at least. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cute that way. They did a pretty good job of putting little touches like that in, and I mean, it's a lot of fun when you get your big city going to sort of zoom in on the street level and just see everybody's going to work, and you can click on all the cars and see where they're going, and you get the feeling it's a real vibrant little virtual city.
My very favorite sim game of all time was a LucasArts game that no one has ever heard of called Afterlife, where you were simming heaven and hell.
Hmm.
And it was spectacular. It was absolutely hilarious. You had to create different areas for the angels who were upkeeping the souls, and places for each of the seven virtues and seven deadly sins. And the goal was to get those to evolve up to their super highest point. And like the virtue of contentment, it was a field of cows. Because have you ever seen anything more pleased with their lives than a field of cows?
That's pretty
But
cool.
no one has ever heard of it, and
I've
so
never
it's
heard
not
of it.
even on GOG, and I cannot get it to run anymore. It's very sad. It's from like 1993.
Lost to the archives.
Yeah, maybe it'll show up someday.
Oh yeah, check the Internet Archive.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
that's a
turned
good
out to be good.
idea.
Era, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing some Final Fantasy. I've been playing. What else have I been playing? We get the demo for Final Fantasy 15 this weekend.
You
Um,
did get it, or you are going to get it?
No, we got it this weekend. But please remember, my weekend is hazy in memory right now. So
Did you see the pants?
no, I did not see the pants.
Yeah, okay,
I didn't-
so Ellie brought
So we're
this
going
up.
to talk about the hot pants.
Yeah, so
I didn't even do that segue on purpose, you guys. That was awesome.
that was good, but now we pointed it out, so it's less cool. But it was good. So I think it was Polygon we figured out had an article over the week about the many faces of Sid through all of Final Fantasy, and they went through it. And in Final Fantasy 1, Sid was like a grizzled old man, and then younger, and then they pointed out Sydney from Final Fantasy 15, who is a young lady in hot pants and a bikini top.
And her hat says Hammerhead Full Service Station.
Wow. Wow.
Which, I mean, okay, is so
Well,
completely
maybe
ridiculous.
It loses something in the translation from Japanese.
I'm pretty sure it didn't lose anything.
I'm trying to be charitable. Also, maybe she's late for her beach volleyball practice?
She's on her way to being dead or alive.
I want to know what's the deal with Final Fantasy 15, because I have not played any of the demo at all. But I mean, like, it's just so weird to see like these Final Fantasy guys going on a road trip, and now they're gonna stop and get gas. And I'm like, is this like Zoolander? It feels like Zoolander.
Man, I would totally play Zoolander the game.
I would also play Zoolander the game.
Me too.
Take note, studios.
As long as it's got Billy Zane in it. Billy Zane and David Bowie have to be in the game.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yes, but yeah, I don't really understand. Like, do you recall Arrow? What's going on?
I don't know. I didn't get that far that I know of or remember.
Are they driving a car?
Yes, no. The car was wrecked. That was as far as we got.
Okay.
The car was wrecked, and there was a giant behemoth, and it was super unfortunate because you've got an option to turn on the original Japanese dialogue, but there's no subtitles yet. And it's been a long time since my college Japanese classes, and I wasn't that good. So you still have to go back to the dub language, which is, as per usual, very unfortunate.
Yes.
But it was very pretty, and I will probably play the game. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played like a proper Final Fantasy RPG in a while. I mean, like, I'm playing 14, but it's totally not the same.
No, not even.
And I skipped 13, so I think I owned 13, but we never got through the 10 hours of railroady intro or whatever it is.
I had the same problem.
Yeah.
I got about halfway through what was it, 12, I think. And I had the same problem with 12 that I had with 13, which was that the AI that they put in was interesting, but it also got really boring. And then in 13, it was required. Like in 12, you didn't have to do it,
Oh
but in
yeah.
13, and that was it was like an ant farm. You just wind them up and they play the game themselves, and that was really boring. And I don't understand why they made 3 games of it.
I have a question about the Hotpants.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't laugh. It's
That's a
serious
good episode title.
I have a question about the hot pants. Yeah, I think we should totally call it that.
So I'm an outsider to the Final Fantasy series. Like I said, I think I played half an hour of one of the games once, and it just didn't seem like my cup of tea. Do they? So the mechanic lady with the hot pants and the bikini top and the hat that says that she works in a full service garage, is that typical of the series? Like, do they have super sexualized female characters as a rule, or no?
Not no more or less than any other Japanese RPG. I mean, it's got a very specific aesthetic style.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much all based on the same singular one dude's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it does come out of Japan, so it's got a Asian flair, and as we all know from games like Terra, like that can go bad. But it's not consistently bad, and I mean, even like I don't know, like I never felt like gender stuff was terrible in Final Fantasy games, but I also never really played them after I was super aware of those issues. So
Usually the worst thing about that was that the white mage is almost always a girl.
yeah, that's definitely true.
Right. But that's
Yeah.
usually the most egregious.
I don't think Final Fantasies have ever been particularly sexy. Like, I think, there can be risque outfits, but that's kind of the art style, and the dudes wear risque outfits as well. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't say particularly sexy.
The butt floss is equal opportunity.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
just gonna say, I'm actually like I'm okay with universal hot pants. Like if hot pants is the dress code of the universe, and the dudes are wearing like chest straps and little like butt flaps, fine. Let's.
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes.
That is, and I've seen some of the male NPC designs for Final Fantasy 15, and there's a bunch of dudes on the internet that are like, "What is this?" I don't know. This
Obviously
makes me
they've never
uncomfortable.
played Final Fantasy before.
Yeah, I think the problem with this character is more that Sid was in all the previous games and was always a mechanical inclined looking fella. Sometimes he was old and grizzled, and sometimes he was young, and but generally looked competent. And this does not necessarily is very evocative of competency. The new Sid's outfit.
Not to say that you can't change
is
oil
sad.
in a bikini top and hot pants. I mean, you can. It would hurt probably if you leaned over too far and you hadn't let the engine cool enough. But I mean, it's feasible.
Tractor grease is
Not
great for the skin.
likely. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little pandering, let's put it that way. And it just feels a little more sexy than I'm used to from Final Fantasy games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
usually
that-
the sexy comes like with a drawback in Final Fantasy. Like you'll get the evil sorceress is wearing nipple caps and butt floss, that kind of thing.
Well, that's how you know they're evil.
Exactly.
Because they, are dressed
Giant bondage
inappropriately.
gear and heavy eye makeup.
Yeah.
Too evil for clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that it's also, I mean, I don't know, the male characters aren't typically the like power fantasy male characters either.
No.
Like oftentimes there's one, right? Like Barrett was one, but most of the characters in the games are not like that. It's just I don't know. I thought we should talk about it a little bit because it came up again, and it's pretty spectacular.
I just want to know what the deal is with that game, because every time, you watch like the trailer for it and they're all like doing the road trip in the car, and I'm like, what is going on?
Every Final Fantasy game is simultaneously different and exactly the same, right? So
Yep.
I'm sure that the Earth is dying and needs saving, and I'm sure that the mechanics are completely different from every other game.
And
I
yet
mean,
also entirely the same.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than saving the world with a musical number, but
No, that game was awesome.
Okay, yeah, that game was really great.
Wait, what game was that?
The
That's Final
X2
Fantasy X-2.
10-2,
Wait,
which
10
is like kind of a sequel to 10, but actually not at all a sequel to 10. And for some reason, they didn't give it a new number.
So there's
It-
10-2 and then there's 11.
And then there's
Yes.
like, doesn't 13 also have a 13-2?
it
And a
does.
13-3.
Yes.
And technically 15 was supposed to be 13-4, but then they decided to put it in a different world.
Which is good because 13-3 did not do very well. People didn't was not very well received, so I think that was a smart idea for them to start fresh with a new number.
Yeah, so 10-2 like had this whole outfits concept, I think. Like your skills were sort of
It was
based on
like
what
jobs
you were
in
wearing.
5.
And
Wasn't
you
5
like
where the jobs thing came from? And now we've got jobs in 14 too. But yeah, it was like jobs. It was
one of the people was a singer, and she like murdered people with her magical voice. It was kind of awesome.
well that sort of, but not exactly. There was also an evil magical organ, and it and also Bahamut was a dead 7-year-old boy. So
I mean,
Arolaide had an evil magical organ.
yeah,
Yeah.
great.
I'm clearly missing a lot.
and when I say organ, I mean pipe organ, not like schlong organ.
I will say it looks really pretty. Just like panning through some screenshots and stuff. That's one thing that Final Fantasy has always done, right? Like it's almost always been on the edge of technology. It always sort of pushes the platforms forward, or it has felt like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and the reason why 10 existed was people were whining about how hard it was to animate water.
Right.
And so Square was like, "Oh, really? Let's set the entire game underwater. Suck it."
And have a giant mini game that you have to play underwater all the time. Yeah.
Underwater soccer, it's the best.
It's more like underwater water polo, right?
Yeah, with some soccer
I don't know.
bits.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's
It
awesome.
was a weird game.
Arrow, have you pre-ordered Heaven's Word?
I have not.
Me neither. I haven't done, but I will eventually. But
I don't know what day it is why. I have plenty of time to pre-order, and I can always tack on what you can spend an extra $20 later and get the pre-order stuff.
yes,
The Griffin looks pretty sweet. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to shell out $1 bajillion for the dragon statue because it's awesome, but not that awesome. There are more awesome.
Wait, there's a dragon statue? What's a
You
dragon?
get an actual physical dragon statue if you pre-order the collector's edition for $150.
Oh, never mind.
yeah.
Wait, what scale is it at?
I would say probably about a, I don't
Can I
know.
use it in my mini games?
I don't know. But yeah,
I had the D&D miniatures, Bahamut and Tiamat in my hand today, and they're like 6 inches by 6 inches. Like
This looks
gigantic.
like 10 by 10 is what this looked about like. I can't really tell.
For pre-order.
Now he's looking at it. But yes, if you pre-order the physical edition, you get a dragon statue. If you pre-order the digital edition, you get hats and mounts and that sort of thing. But I will.
Sweet armored Griffa dragon thing.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Okay, does it just mean like every other game is like WoW is taking out flying? I mean, they haven't introduced flying in Draenor, and yet Final Fantasy XIV is putting it in the expansion, and I'm a little nervous about that because it feels like Blizzard knows their stuff, and if they are pulling back from flying,
No, shut up.
whoa, we just
No, stop. Flying is amazing. Aerial
Flying-
views are amazing. This world is beautiful. I want to be a giant fly dragon thing. Okay,
I mean, those
don't
things are
take that away from me.
those
Stop.
things are definitely true, but it is awkward to be able it puts awkward pressures on content building, and that was a big part of what WoW pulled back from.
They
or the
didn't
reason
like
that
people being able to fly in and drop on top of a quest picky-uppy thingy. Make your quest better and make people not want to be able to do that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys talked about it in Dragon Age, and I haven't gotten to Inquisition yet, but you talked about how
It's
you
amazing. You
almost
should play
never
it.
used. I know, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, but you talked
But
about how you guys never really used the mount system
Yeah,
for fast
no,
travel because there was reasons not to, like party
exactly.
chat and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that that's that's something that is totally missing in MMOs. And part of that I think also is that you spend so much time in MMOs doing stupid shit. Um, that like it's I don't know, like you want to cut down on that time.
I actually have just had a really good idea. We should make it so that Varric follows me around in every MMO that I play, making smart comments,
Oh
and
yeah.
then every MMO will instantly be better because Varric.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree with that.
and
Talon
if they
started
have
playing it, and
if they
her
have the
first comment was,
budget, yeah.
You can't romance him, or you can't flirt with him all the time, and that's all she wants to
No.
do, and she's very sad.
No, his heart belongs to another.
You can't romance me. I was so disappointed because I really wanted to be like the dwarf power couple. It was not to be.
But you can flirt with the hot dwarf scout
Scout
chick.
Harding.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty sweet.
Oh, okay, I don't know if she's met her yet.
Just
Yes.
wait. She'll definitely notice her. She's the sort of lady that you notice.
It's true.
She's
Yeah.
ruthlessly competent.
She is
Pretty much
ruthlessly competent.
all of the women in Inquisition are ruthlessly competent. That's one of my very favorite things about the game. They're all super, super good at their jobs. And some people don't like that. I mean, there are a whole lot of people in the fandom and the game playing world who hate Vivienne. Absolutely hate her. Because she is aggressively good at her job.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are a whole bunch of people who hate a whole bunch of stupid things, and sometimes
Oh yeah.
people hating something is a handy way of like disqualifying them from being like
Oh,
worth listening
exactly.
to.
Or knowing
Yeah.
that you're gonna like it. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I love BioWare is when people were whining about there being gay romances in BioWare games, they were essentially like, well, then don't play our games because we think these are awesome and definitely belong here. And I was like, yes, thank you.
I saw a bunch of people complaining about Cassandra because she has a manly jaw.
What?
Did they also
It's
bitch about?
Lauren, that's how they're built.
Did they bitch about Aveline?
People
Probably.
all bitched about Aveline, I'm sure, because again, ruthlessly competent. People get intimidated
I
by
liked
that.
Aveline. Aveline was cool.
Aveline
I
was
wanted
awesome.
to have her in my party more, except that like she was a warrior and I was a warrior.
That's always the problem with
There can be
Battle
only one,
games.
I hear.
There can, because she always tries to steal all my tanking stuff.
That's not cool. Yeah, no, I can understand that.
You gotta have all the mages with you.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for Heaven's Word. I'm not going to pre-order it now. I'm going to wait because it comes out in June, so there's really no rush. So, like, a week before, I'll pre-order it for the
Yeah.
pre-order bonuses. But I'm excited.
And when you say pre-order bonuses, we all know you mean the hats.
That is what I mean. Yes.
And
They're
mounts,
really
right?
spectacular hats.
Pre-order
I mean,
hats?
Yes.
All
Pre-order
hats in that game are friggin' amazing. I just
Yeah.
Oh, they are. I love standing in like a major, population center and just looking at the outfits. They're amazing. But the thing is, you have to be 50 to get them. So I'm just like leveling up so one day I can get really good hats.
like the big
Yeah.
frilly foofy feathery hat. That's my favorite one so far that I've seen.
Oh,
Other than the horse hat.
so Lior, congratulations on your new like MMO. What's your blog? Your new recurring
Oh,
column.
my column, yes. I'll be writing.
So I was going to congratulate you, but I was also going to suggest that if that idea falls through, you could make a new one called Hat Watch.
Ooh, Hat Watch. Covering the hats. The hat news that you need right now.
That would be
Yes.
actually really. I mean, Dolphy does that for for Star Wars, and it's really effective.
Yeah, I think that like generic like fashion like dress up blogs are some of the best because you can just get away with posting like a couple of pictures and being like, I saw this awesome thing, and that's it.
Oh yeah, totally. And I would go and look at it because I care about hats. It's such good hats in Final Fantasy. Such good hats.
It's like a ridiculous game. It is such a ridiculous game.
And I love the fact that you can see rings and chokers and earrings, so like your jewelry actually matters.
Yes.
As opposed to most games, you'll never see that. But this time, if you put on a ring, you'll see the ring.
It's
That's
pretty great.
Cool. Yeah.
Orpho and Margot are playing Warcraft again.
I know because I saw them online.
Yeah, and Orpho is currently grinding some like level 55 dungeon for like a specific shaman headpiece that she wants for cosmetic reasons.
Sounds like Dire Mall.
Yeah, cosmetics can be extraordinarily motivating, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, they just need to give you enough room to like collect all the shit and not have to fucking sell off your old pieces just because you got a new one.
Mm-hmm.
It boggles my mind that up until the last few years, a cosmetic system was not considered just a default system in any MMO.
No, that's bullshit. It was considered a default system in every MMO that wasn't Warcraft.
Right, but then Warcraft reset what the expectations are for default systems.
Yeah, and they're way worse.
That's true.
Yeah.
Warcraft's cosmetic system is still one of the worst cosmetic systems.
Yes.
Like, you can't switch it easily out in the world. It costs you a shitload of money. You have a totally limited amount of things that you can have, and you can't change all the slots with whatever the fuck you want. Like, just let me do it. Like, who cares? I'm not ruining your game because I want to, like, go fight a boss with 2 fish in my hands.
Right, exactly. Yeah, in Final Fantasy, you can switch out your gear, your costume gear in combat. So I'm just like, now I'm hitting you with this hat, now I'm hitting you with this hat. It's awesome. Yes.
Oh man, you could probably just like macro that so every attack has a different hat.
You could.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. You would be super duper stylish. All right. I think anyone else have anything else they want to talk about?
That's a good hard end, isn't it? It's like it's enough.
Yeah, well,
Well, especially in Final Fantasy XIV, where you always have dramatic poses at the end of every battle. That would be super great to have a different hat for every pose. That would be really fun. Let's do that.
I
have to
go
say,
play that right now.
I love my Lalafell.
Your falafel?
My falafel. She's like super cute. Talon totally designed her, and she's got like all freckle face and like a tiny nose, and is amazing.
I am actually super excited for Heaven's Word, so I can turn my awesome purple giant into a dragon.
Wait, is that is it dragon people? Is that the new race?
They are dragon people. They're dragon people. They have wings and scales and horns, and oh my god, you guys!
I don't know if I like dragon people.
Well, I don't give a shit what you like.
This could be left over from our D&D campaign where like every single dragonborn person I've met has totally fucked me over.
I'll write that down later. Fuck Elliot.
Yeah, and with the special edition or whatever of Heaven's Word, you get a free race change potion.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been holding on to my the potion of Fantasia that came with my fat chocobo for exactly that reason. So, I have 2.
Yes, I still have 1 as well. So
when you mess it up, you can do it again.
Exactly.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm at like just about to hit level 40 in Final Fantasy, so 10 more levels to go.
Until you have then 10 more levels to go.
Forever and ever and ever, and then it's only like 15 more classes to level up or something, so no problem.
Oh, you haven't leveled anything else. Get all of your other stuff way down at the bottom. Oh, that sucks to be you. Wow.
Uh-huh.
At least you're a white mage, right?
Right.
So at least it's all the same class. So you can just swap right to scholar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to concentrate on all the magic users first, so I still have all the gear in my bags and stuff. So
yeah,
slowly but surely, yeah, I will work on that. And then
White mage, is that a healer?
Yes.
You're a healer.
And so is scholar.
Scholar's also a healer.
Scholar is a pet healer. Basically, You're a Pokemon trainer, and you make your Pokemon heal people.
That's pretty cool. I was wondering what Scholar was. I don't know. I picked Marauder because a tiny little girl with a huge axe seemed pretty cool.
I saw this awesome Lala the other day with like big bushy sideburns and a big mustache and like big sunglasses, and that was a serious business Lala.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
it was pretty good.
I still miss Mr. Whiskerface.
I know that game was that game, man.
The game was so terrible.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad. The combat was great, but everything else was terrible.
Was this Terra?
Terra,
Yes.
yeah.
And I had a little kitty dude with a giant axe named Mr. Whiskerface. And I still get emails from Mr. Whiskerface. Dear Mr. Whiskerface, please come back to Terra.
He's gone on to better things.
Like putting on pants.
Yeah, Terra was hilarious because it had like the big statues of like naked women over all the city centers and stuff.
And dudes though, like
Yeah, and dudes. There were no pants on dudes either.
Like
No one had pants. That was a
the
world with no pants.
what the hell were they called? The
Basically, it was my
Platonic.
daughter's dream world.
demon people. Yeah.
Your daughter's dream world, no pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you hear that there's some new Dead or Alive game coming out, Arrow?
Oh, also no pants.
I looked up Heavensward and it was Heavensward and Dead or Alive 5.
Wow.
Round.
Oh yeah, there's some debacle because they said they were gonna, I don't know, try and be slightly less
Oh, that's bullshit.
sexist, and everyone like.
There used to be an option in Dead or Alive to turn off the boob jiggle, and it just became completely no fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's what you're playing Dead or Alive for. I mean,
Well, it's like there's you see this in shitty movies. Like there's too much is awful, but much too much is perfect.
I would agree with that.
And
As
in
long as-
anything.
As long as you're playing it with somean who's not too
I mean, they have to-
legitimately excited about the boob jiggle, then
They
I
have
think
to know
Okay,
what
that's
they're gonna
true.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
I've actually never even seen a Dead or Alive game. Like,
Oh god.
even
We should
clips.
like
I have no idea what you're talking about. We basically exist in like entirely different corners of the gaming universe.
There is
do
a
we
Dead or
wanna-
Alive movie, and it's awesome, and you should watch it.
yeah,
Is it on Netflix?
Yes, it is. Oh,
Then
it was.
I-
Hold on, let me check.
Don't watch that.
We did a
It's
podcast
so
on it. You
great!
should definitely watch it. And
I
then you
think-
should listen to the podcast where Liore just doesn't get it.
In general, I think I'm going to have to go with Liore's opinion on this one.
It's got
You
Eric
should-
Roberts in it. It's so great.
You should also play Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
No,
Right.
the first beach volleyball was actually good. That was a fun game.
All right, we're wrapping up this episode. We've gotten to the point where once again we're telling people to watch Dead or Alive and don't watch it.
It's so
terrible.
good. It's so fun. It's $7 on Amazon Digital Video.
Not worth.
I will buy it for you.
Oh God!
I
If
think
we
it might.
really come
I think
to
it might
this-
be on. It might be on YouTube too.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. But if you would like to purchase it, you can digitally purchase it from Amazon for $6.99.
If you're gonna
And
do
I
it,
do recommend, especially if you have beer handy.
yes,
Hmm.
and use the affiliate links on my page. Because if you're gonna spend $7 on it, at
I
least
like how
I
we-
should get some.
I like how we came around from "don't fucking do this" to or just give me money. That's cool.
Well, look,
If I can get 3 cents out of it, totally watch that movie.
totally. All right, that is it for this episode. I want to just take a moment and welcome the podcast Multiplaying to the T-Gen Network. They are our newest show that we just started up with last week. So give them a listen. They do generally the same kind of stuff that we do, you know, games and movies and television and stuff, and they're a cool bunch of folks. So welcome
They
to the
should also
network.
watch Dead or Alive.
Oh my God! You know. I found a
Please.
service where everyone can watch a movie online at the same time, and I think we're gonna have to like MST3K something soon, and it's not gonna be Dead or Alive, but it can be just as terrible.
All right. How about the Dragon? What the fuck is that game?
Stop trying to make us watch that movie. Jesus Christ.
Are you talking about Dungeons and Dragons? Because I saw that in the theater.
I'm not talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
I'm
he's
talking
talking
about
about Dungeon Siege.
Siege? No,
Yeah,
that's
he
not
told
even
Mr.
funny.
Enriquez watch Dungeon Siege.
No, we're not
I
going to
heard
watch
that was
Dungeons
really
Siege.
bad. Also,
It
it's
wasn't even
not a
fun.
real podcast episode unless all of you are criticizing each other's tastes. So I'm glad that this is how we're ending.
It's because I'm the only one with any taste at all, obviously.
Oh man,
Excuse me, who's the beer connoisseur here?
me.
Who's the one with the vertical epic flight? That would be me.
Yeah.
Do you have one, Ellie? No.
I don't. I do have a Magnum of Anchor Christmas from each of the last couple of years, though.
Yeah, whatever. That's not the same.
It's really not. It's really not the same.
I think we should have a movie night where Arrow picks the beer, but Liore picks the movie.
I would like veto power because
Liore is,
likes are not good movies.
Liore is not allowed to make me watch movies.
I know. The last time I made Ellie watch a movie, it was Alien, and I'm not sure how well that went over.
It went over fine. It was a good movie. That one was fine.
It was a great movie. I love that movie. Although it's not as good as Aliens. Have you seen Aliens?
No, not yet.
You should see it.
Aliens is excellent.
Aliens
It's
is
one
really
of my
good.
favorite movies of all time.
It is a completely different kind of movie, also.
It's completely different.
It's
Yeah,
much more of an
I
action.
want to watch some random bullshit Korean horror movie. That's all.
Okay,
Which random bullshit Korean horror movie?
First of all-
literally any.
okay, whatever. You have no taste. Korean horror movies are awesome.
Or terrible. Sometimes both.
Well, sometimes terrible, yeah, but but awesomely terrible.
You didn't make him watch A Tale of Two Sisters, did you?
I've seen that movie.
No, he saw that all on his own, so.
Yeah, and you didn't understand it, did you?
Wow, Eric, you're
You don't have to work very hard to understand it. It's like I just didn't want to watch it ever again.
Look,
He didn't
Ellie,
get it. It's
don't
not
take-
for him.
don't take that from someone who just told everyone to go pay money for Dead or Alive.
No, I said I would pay money for them to watch Dead or Alive.
Well, I look forward to my 3 cents.
You hear that, people? Yeah, that is an open invitation for anyone watching this podcast that Arrow will buy you Dead or Alive.
I will buy a person, Dead or Alive. It's
This
not
will
a
be
good
the episode that goes viral, you know.
We never said it was a good movie. It is just seriously so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's
come on.
really not good.
Jamie
No.
Presley is having the time of her life.
I mean,
No,
it's good.
it's so fun.
God, it's so bad. Okay, anyway, the show's over. This episode is over. Please excuse my co-hosts and their terrible taste.
Well, thanks for having me, Liore.
It's a really fun movie. You should watch it.
Oh, thanks for thinking Liore and not the rest of us.
Yeah.
Wait, she asked me. You didn't invite me.
We were right there. We could have said no.
All right, well, thanks for not vetoing me as a guest, guys.
You're welcome.
Oh boy, I see this is ending off to the usual. Yes, Aurelia, thank you for coming on the show and talking about intersections with me. So that was cool.
Anytime.
It could have been worse. It could have been episode 69 again.
Don't make me laugh at episode 69. That will ruin my friend for being a serious business.
We're totally legit.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see which of this gets edited out.
Neither can I. All right. Thank you very much for listening and or watching. We will be back in 2 weeks with another episode. You can find me on Twitter at Liores, Liores. You can't find Ellie on Twitter because he has a baby, so I don't know what
That's
he does
such
now.
bullshit. You can find me.
No, you're locked.
Yeah, you're locked.
You
No,
can totally find me by typing in twitter.com/thatangrydwarf, and then if you want to follow me, then I will accept you if you don't seem like a weird person.
Uh-huh. Ellie's going to judge you.
yeah.
I will definitely judge you first.
Ellie is more elite on Twitter than the rest of us. And Arolaide is on Twitter at Arolaide. Aurelia, do you have anything you want to promote?
Get your pet spayed or neutered.
Nice. Nice. We got the Price is Right sign off. Excellent. The website for the podcast is lioreblog.com/catcontextpodcast, and you'll find all our episodes there, and that is it. And check out the other good shows on TGen Network. Okay, that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.